Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of Unity 2D Tutorials. In this episode we're going to talk about the item usage in our inventory system. Let's say we pick up these items and we want to consume this to give us health, and at the same time we can have custom events like hiding this eagle. So that's how it's done. Let's go start. What we've got so far is an inventory system that includes a simple UI from which we can store the items that we picked up. And of course when you hover over the item you can get like the name of and the image of the item. But in this episode we're gonna have a slightly more complex or more advanced way, in the sense that we're gonna be able to use the item in our inventory. I'm gonna make this inventory system simple, but you can expand as much as you can. I'm gonna have only two types of items. And the first one is going to be consumable. The second one is going to be static. Consumable is as it sounds. So when you click on it, something happens. You gain health. That's mainly you gain mana. It depends on your game, or you gain some kind of a superpower. Right? I'm gonna leave that thing blank for you to integrate it whatever you want. But the second one is static, and that's basically an item that is unusable. So it remains in your inventory, but it relates to the game story with something, right? Like a newsletter, like a key or something, like a broken key. So let's start with these things. Before we jump ahead inside the inventory system, we're gonna have to go one step back and then modify the item script, because we have set up the interaction type in here. Right, and I'm gonna rename this. I'm gonna call it, what is rename? Because we're gonna have another type. Yeah, rename, interact type. And we're gonna have another thing called, okay, let's make it this way, this one looks nicer. We got interaction type, we got item type. So item type, I'm gonna keep static and consumables. Okay. And we're gonna have public item type. Okay, that's very cool. So with this one we can tell the inventory, alright, this item is consumable or this item is something else, right? And let's make this pickup. Since we've changed it, because we changed the name, and let's make this one examine and static. Okay, let's make two items. Let's make this consumable, and let's make this like the whole push item. Let's make it pickup and make it static, right? And let's call it let's get description very green. Okay, for the lever I'm gonna call it weird lever. And you know what, let's just make it actually, you know what, I think let me reset all this stuff. I'm gonna keep the lever static, and I'm gonna let me add another object in here, because that would make much more sense. And it's gonna be the cherry. So the cherry is gonna be the consumable. So I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna take this one, drag it all the way here. And what we can do from here is go item, and it adds up everything. Let's make it pickup consumable. Let's add restore +2 health. That's enough. So for the static item we're gonna show the description text, but for the consumable we're gonna do something else, which is the gonna be public unity event consume event. What I'm gonna do right here is I'm gonna have to make this stuff much more organized. So I'm gonna put a thing in here, go header, general fields. Okay, let's make it attributes, and in here I'm gonna call header custom events. With this, at least we can get more can be more organized. You can do it as you like. I'm gonna keep it this way. So for the consumable, and when you want to consume this is where you do stuff in here. Like, for example, you wanna, let's say, increase your health, right? So you click this one and you drag and drop the object that has a script that increases the health. Like you drag and drop the object that has a script, and you circle to the, for example, let's say the here fox, and then increase health, and then you input, for example, +2 or 3, it depends. And that's it. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna make a testing script, right? I'm gonna make a, actually, you know what? I'm gonna make it testing. So when I consume this, I want to hide something, right? I'm gonna call this cherry, because I don't want to edit stuff inside the script itself. I'm just gonna have this thing in here. So let's bring our eagle friend, right? We're always hiding this guy. So let's have him in here, just hanging about. Eagle. We go to the cherry, and then the consume event is gonna be disabling this eagle. So that's good for now. We're set up from the part like of the items itself. Now we have to go and do the inventory system part, and that part is also quite simple. We said we're gonna add another field in here, so we've got ourselves two fields. We've got the image and the text, the title, sorry. So what we need to do, we need to bring this thing slightly upwards. We're gonna make it 0.3, probably much better. And then we're gonna add another text. I'm gonna copy and paste this thing. Make sure this is 0, and make it this like 16. I guess it's nicer. Let's check the gameplay view. It's still slightly higher. So I'm gonna do this thing. I'm gonna bring this to the top because I want it to be as close as possible to the image. Make it 14, I guess. Yeah. And keep this line color, you know what, let's make it dark with the white. You know what, just keep it. Maybe we can put white. No, this looks so weird. So let's delete this. So we have item description. I still feel it's still too big. I'll go with 13. 13 is enough. Actually, you know what, 12 is good. Let's call it item description. I may have to work a bit on the naming, because here we have description. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to keep it as it is, it's fine. So we're going to have, like, we have description image, we have description title, we have description text. I think it's fine. So text relates to the last one. So since we're hiding these two, we're going to have to also hide the description text itself. And also enable it here, where we enable everything. And the last part is we need to have, so we have shown the text, show the title, show the image, and then the last one, show the description. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go description text.text equals. From this we have to access the game object of the item, and then get into the item element and get the description text. It's going to be this thing exactly. So if we go into the come on, we go to the, for example, cherry, we're going to have to access this game object and then go into the item script and then reach to the description text. That's easy. What we need to do is we need to go here. We go description.text, so we assign the text of items.id.get component item. So we're accessing the game object. From with it, we access the item script, and then we go description text. That's it. That's about all of it. I've noticed one thing is whenever we click on the inventory system, and then if we keep on hovering on top of the item and then close it, the item will not go away like this. What I mean, see, for example, if I go like this, it's still visible. So that's because we need to make sure that we hide description whenever we update the UI. So in hide all, we can add this thing up here. Let's do it this way. That's it. So make sure that this stuff. So we got an error here because we haven't referenced the last element, which is fine. It's this one, description text. So we have the item description text. So let's give it a try. Let's walk around. So if I click I, oh, this thing is still visible. Why did I do this? Oh, this is a mistake I forgot to do. Whenever we toggle or enable the inventory, we need to also update the UI. We have to make sure that we click on the update UI almost in everything that we do in here, because whatever we do, we might end up having stuff enabled or disabled. So in this way, we can make sure that everything is fine. See, now everything is good. Let's go here. So we pick up this thing, and if we go I, it says weird lever. If I click, nothing happens, of course, because right now we have this not accessed. So if we go here, we have this restores to health lever. See, now everything's fine. So right now we're gonna do the clicking mechanics. So clicking mechanics is the same thing as hovering that we did for the item description, but it's gonna have a new at this pointer. Let's go with so this is the thing, it's up to you. You can do this either by clicking down or click. So pointer down means whenever the mouse button goes down, regardless if you bring it up or anything, but click the whole cycle, we click down and up. So I'm going to go with the click because it's makes more sense. So we have this click, and this click, what we're going to do, we're going to have to create a script that we're going to call it consume. Alright, so public, nope, that's not you, public void consume. And we have to pass along the ID of the item that we want to consume. So first thing we have to do is we have to check if that item is consumable, because we might click on items that are not consumable and it should not consume it or do anything. So what we can do is we're going to have to go check if items that ID that get component, and we access the item, and then we get the type, right? So if the type equals consumable, we do this. Otherwise we do nothing. So what we're going to do here, consumed, no, I like to do this, consumed, and we call it item ID. I'm just going to pass along the name of the item. So it's going to say consume this item, and we're going to call the consume event that we created. And it's simple as we did before for the custom event. It's going to be this thing here. So if we go here to cherry, it's this consume event. So we're going to go and do this items dot ID dot get component item. Item. So we access the item script and we go consume event that invoke. And as soon as we do this, we will have to make sure that invoke the custom, so the consume custom event. Second thing is delete the item, because of course it's used once. So what this does, we're gonna have to make sure that we destroy. First of all, we gotta clear it from the list itself. So what we're gonna do is clear the item from the list and then destroy the item. So what this does, So what this does, it makes sure that we have everything aligned up. So to clear it, we're going to go with items that remove, and we pass along the name of the item with its ID. So what this means, we're accessing the list of, so if you click F12, you go to the definition, which is the list of the items, and then by remove, it removes the item. We have to pass along the object of the list itself. This one might see, if this sounds complex to you, go along with this items that remove at, because we're passing along the ID or the identifier of the whole thing. So what we can do is we can put ID in here, and it's going to remove the same item, because whether we click items ID or ID itself, it's going to pass either identifier like a pointer or the item itself. So this is good. And the next thing is, I have to, okay, so before we lose the reference to the item, we need to destroy it. So let me think of a way of doing this. So we have a reference of the item. We need to remove this. But what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to destroy it. Item in very tiny time. So what this does, it destroy items ID, and we have to pass along a number. So I'm going to go with 0.5. So what this makes sure is it destroys it in 0.1 second, but then removes it. I'm going to show you why. This is just to clear the clutter of the game, because when you remove the item from the your inventory, it's going to remain there, right? So you know what, let's give it a test and see how it looks. So I'm going to go ahead and then apply the click button to all the elements in here. So we have this thing here. I think it's better if what we do is, let's go here, inventory system, consume, and it's going to pass along 0. So because I don't want to do it all of them like one by one, I can just copy, paste, and adjust the numbering again. So this has to have 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Yeah, that's why I wanted to have 3 elements only, because it's easier to actually copy and paste stuff. Okay, never mind that. It's doing fine. So we got ourselves the inventory system. As soon as we click a button, something is going to happen. So let's go back in here, save, starts playing. So I'm going to show you why what happens if we don't delete the whole thing. So if I go, let's go and pick this up and pick this up. If we click I, get this. If I click this here, nothing's going to happen, because this item has, the first one has here we go. It's a lever. So it has the static type, so nothing happened. But if we go here and click this button, you have to keep looking at this eagle here. It's going to have to go away. So if I click this, it goes away. So see, now that's a problem. In the items list, if you go back here, it's not here anymore because we deleted it from the items. But still, it's in the visible area of the object itself. So what we're going to do is, we're going to have to destroy this thing, and at the same time we need to update the UI, because what's happened is, like, we lost the cherry, right? So we don't have a cherry in our item list, but the images already exist there. So we're gonna have to re-update the whole thing, and it's gonna loop through all of our items, and it says, okay, we have only one item instead of 2 items, so the cherry will be gone. Okay, let's go update UI. With this, we should have a decent item usage mechanics. Okay, let's start. And I'm gonna pick up this cherry first, because I will show you how it makes much more sense. So if I click this, nothing happens. If I click this, this will go away, and then the cherry will disappear, and this thing will come in here. See, now everything's fine. So I go outside, the cherry object is gone, and it says consume cherry. And if you go here, the items, where is it? There's only lever, and that's it. We got ourselves a lever. So with this, we can cover a simple mechanic for consuming items, or just having like a story-driven items in our inventory. You can enhance this as much as you want, and I hope you guys and girls like this episode, and if you find it beneficial, please hit the likes and subscribe button so I can keep on giving you content and nice tutorials. Otherwise, if you have any questions, please hit me in the comment section below or visit our Discord channel in the description. Other than this, I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!